Okay, this is a sewing table that I made, and I made it from, I based it on a design that was purchased. The design was sold by Terry Heyer, and Terry Heyer is of Design Alternatives. So I used his design to, or it's a plan actually. I used it for basic dimensions, and I followed his advice on how to make the legs and such things as that. But then I deviated from his plan in a number of key ways, and so I'm going to go over those differences in this video. His plan did call for an ironing board that's in the table, and this table has an ironing board also. I added this door, so I'm going to open the door now, and that shows you the ironing board there. If I grab it, I can pull the ironing board out. It comes out pretty far. The ironing board and the top of the table and all of the shelves are all made the same way. They're made with, I'm going to come over to the side so we can see that ironing board. They're made with 3/4 inch plywood that has an oak veneer, and they're all edge banded with red oak. I used biscuits to hold the edge banding onto all the horizontal surfaces. And let's see, I'm going to push this back in. It's a pretty massive ironing board. The shelves are all adjustable, or I should say the bottom shelf is fixed. It's not adjustable, but the next two are adjustable. They sit on these things that I call buttons. Hang on. Here's a button right there. Here's another button. So I made these buttons because I don't really like the idea of drilling a lot of holes in a vertical surface and then using shelf supports. So I made fixed buttons at places that I thought would give enough flexibility for this table, and I think it does. And each button has 2 screws, so it's screwed on, glued on. And if you grab one of these shelves, which I'm about to do, you can lift them up and you can take them out, but you can't pull them forward. When I tried to pull it forward, it stopped because I attached stops to the bottom of each shelf. So the whole idea is shelves won't fall out, but you can get them out easily. You can turn them around. They're interchangeable. There's not a right way or a wrong way to put them in. There's 2 there, and there's 2 on the other side. Another thing I added are these toe kicks. The original plan didn't have toe kicks, but I thought it would be nice to keep things from rolling under the table. Another thing I added is some chair rail. I'm pointing to it here. There's some at the bottom there. I actually have it in quite a few places on the table. For example, this is, I think it's called chair rail. It's the stuff you put on your wall to keep chairs from damaging your wall. I thought it added a nice look to the table. I'm going to come over to the side, and again you can see there's chair rail here and some here and there, wherever I thought it would look good, basically. The sewing machine is not sitting on the table, it's in the table, and that was true of the design that I bought too. But there's a difference in that the purchased plan called for cutting a hole in the table that is shaped for the machine, and I didn't think that was a good idea because if you got a new machine, then it wouldn't fit in the hole. So what I did, I'm going to lift the machine out and you'll see what I did, I guess. Okay, only gravity is holding it in, so up it comes. And what I did was, I'm going to lift this piece out. I call this an insert. And it's shaped, the insert is shaped to surround the machine just right. But it's sitting in a rectangular hole that I call the well. So by making this rectangular, that makes it so that if you bought a new machine, all you'd have to do is make a new insert and the same top would work for the new machine. I'll put the insert back. And you see what I mean. See, it's a machine-shaped hole, but it can be varied. Now, one of the things that crossed my mind was it might be nice to be able to use this table not just to sew with the machine, but just as a measuring or cutting table for material. So what I did was I made another insert. I'm moving things around a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. I made another insert. I'm going to grab it here, and it's perfectly rectangular. So when I drop it in, there's no hole. That means that the whole expanse of the top now can be used as a work table. And as you can see now, if you wanted to get that insert out, it's flush, and it might be hard to get out. So what I did was, I'm going to go below, and I bored a hole in the bottom of the table, right here. Wait a minute, I'll be on it. Right there. And I have a pencil in my hand. If I push up with the pencil, I'll go back to the top. If I push up with the pencil, you can see I'm lifting that rectangular insert out of there now. And if you have two hands to work with, which I don't right now, it's pretty easy. You push up, you grab it with your hand. Well, again, if you have two hands, it's easy. Wait a minute. All right. You push up with the pencil. What I need is a photographer. All right, here we go. And you can lift it out. So there you go. It's easy to, it might not have looked easy, but it's easy to switch back and forth between a big table and a table that has a machine in it. The one thing I did was I made a volume behind the well, and whichever inserts you're not using, I'm going to slip this rectangular one into that space behind the well. It's kind of a hidden space. So now it just disappears. The extra insert disappears. And if I put the original insert back, it's configured again to hold the machine. So I guess those are the major features of the table. It's a little easier than it looked because if you're not holding the camera, it's not a problem. Okay, now we're looking at the back of the table, and it's built in pretty much the same way that the front was. Virtually every detail is the same. You see there's a 5-inch shelf space at the top, identically. The shelves below that are made the same as the ones in the front. They're just a lot bigger. and they work the same way. For example, if I reach forward and I try to pull this one forward, it won't come unless I lift it up. The toe kick at the bottom is the same. One thing that is a little bit different is on the right side there's only one shelf instead of two. Toe kick's the same. The reason there's only one shelf is because I ran out of wood, and I thought I'd get some more wood and make another shelf, but then it occurred to me that maybe it wasn't so bad to have a fairly big space that somebody could put baskets in to hold material or things like that. That shelf's adjustable too because of the buttons that are there. You can see at the back of the shelf there's some buttons that only have one screw in them. I put those there because these shelves are so wide that I thought maybe it would be good to have some support at the center point. The finish on the table, everywhere, all the wood is finished with Minwax Polyshades. The type is called Old Maple Satin 330. And that's pretty much it. That's the table. So I'm signing off.